Want to start out?
Yeah. All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of BeanTown Boxing Banter and Bullshit this week, 508 series. We're here with Josniel Castro. TG, how are you? Thank you for coming through tonight.
Thank you. I'm good. I want to thank my coach, um Chuck, my coach. Oh, obviously his name Derik Santos. My manager Chuck Shearns, and then also want to thank Phil Daru for getting me ready for this fight too. And I want to thank Jose and AJ Rivera Promotions for like having me on this fight. I feel good. I feel good. I'm ready.
You look good, man. I'll tell you, the technology behind you is awesome. We got he
Yeah.
was talking about these guys in the boxes here. Chuck, Shearns, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thanks for having us, Mike.
Unreal. I'm pumped. I've been real pumped about this one. Up in the top left corner to me, I'm looking at is Coach Derik Santos, all the way down in Florida. So who wants to go first here? Chuck, you want to go first? You want to?
Yeah, sure. I feel like I should go first. I'm kind of the manager, so
I dig it.
so I'll kind of introduce our team. You know, our team is obviously Josniel TG Castro. Jay had about I think about 50 amateur fights. Won 4 New England Golden Glove titles. He's 3-0 as a pro, 2 knockouts. Our team is Derik Santos is the trainer, and his team. And then our team is for strength and conditioning is Phil Daru with Maureen Shea down in Boca Raton, Florida. And we're gonna bring Jay up to New England, and we got 4 fights planned in the next 45 days. So Josh Nail's going to be busy up in New England for the next 45 days.
Awesome. Derik, what's
Yes,
it been
sir.
like? What's it
Thank
been
you
like
very-
training him?
Oh, it's been a very good experience. Every now and then, you get the rare chance that, somebody by happenstance, usually when they come in like that, in my experience, at my level of training now, usually the guys that just walk in are normally not very talented or good. It just so happened to be, though, that Jay, is very talented, and through one of my former fighters, I guess they met, and the fighter recommended me. Usually, I get sent fighters from managers, or word of mouth of other elite fighters, and like with Jay. And I saw early on there was definitely material there to work with. Um, I really like his attitude. I really like the fact that he's come here and it's been about business. Um, and he's getting the idea. I think the culture in my gym adds to it. I don't have any egos or any jerks in my gym. We don't have any clowns. Everybody works hard. Um, the same thing over, the staff at Phil Daru. They've been instrumental to helping many of my fighters over the years get conditioned and working right. And the biggest thing is he's been willing to come in and say, "Hey, look, I want to learn," and he's shown me, after a couple of weeks, right away, he started picking up certain things. Every now and then he'll do something really, really nice where you're like, oh, okay. So now, you know, as a coach, like me, that that's not, he's young, that you can't have that expectation, but the fact that you see it every now and then come out of him, it's there, and that now it's a question of adding knowledge and polishing his game. He's definitely capable of doing it. And he's definitely capable of, as we move him right. The good thing that I also like about Chuck, um, that he communicates well. I'm big on that. With any fighter I train, that the management team, the strength and condition, we all communicate, and that we all eventually get on the same page. And in this sport, when you got a young man like him, you have to appreciate people that that are willing to invest, but that are also willing to understand that, like an investment, a fighter is like a stock. You got to sit on it a little bit. You got to let it grow, before you start, trying to face the sharks that are out there. Believe it or not, I've been in this game for a long time, and many people have ruined young talents like that. That they just don't give them a chance to grow, and sometimes it's more, whether it's a trainer, whether it's a manager, whether it's the fighter himself. The ego gets involved, arrogance, and sometimes you got to realize that these guys can go far if you just give them a little nurturing, and just be a little patient. I've seen it with a lot of guys, even a few in my past that faltered or stumbled early on, really came back to do very well, and were worth, more importantly, the time and effort that people put into them.
That's good. I'll tell you, it sounds like you got a couple guys pushing in the right direction there, Jay.
Yeah.
So tell me, let's go way back, man. What got you into boxing in the first place? Fighting, what was it?
Well, I had a rough childhood, so pretty much I was going through a lot of stuff, and I was getting into a little bit of trouble and whatnot. And eventually, I have a cousin that her boyfriend, like, he was boxing at the time, and then he kept telling me, "Yo, come to the gym." So I'm like, I'll think about it. And then one day I eventually went, but then I was like in and out or whatnot. And then I got into trouble. Then when I got out of trouble, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hit the gym. I hit the gym, and then I started sparring and stuff like that. I started liking it. And then eventually I'm like, I want to fight. I was waiting to fight. So eventually I just kept going ever since that time.
Awesome, man. I'll tell you, good decisions are right along the path, man.
Yeah, for
know,
sure.
Boxing has saved more lives than it has hurt.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. One shot again, the Godfather, Carlos, he's been getting love on every single show, man. He's taking care of Worcester, really taking care of these kids, so shout out to him. So let me ask you two, I'm gonna ask Chuck and Derik this, because I've asked all the fighters this week this. What do you guys want to see him, because we got a lot of sponsors that are about nutrition and all that. What do you guys like to see him eat the week before the show? What's the nutrition like? Or what's the regimen? Is he cutting weight or?
Well, right now, the biggest thing is, I implore all my fighters to eat clean. Being a boxer is kind of like being a racehorse or a race car, right? You wouldn't put unleaded, 81 fuel or whatever into a Grand Prix car, right?
Right.
You wouldn't put crap food into a championship racehorse. It's the same thing. So I try to tell them that we with Jay, he doesn't have a problem with weight. Right now, he's been very diligent with training, and he's actually right on the right path. We may alter that a little bit in the future. We discussed that, and I've been happy with. He's not a guy that I've had to babysit with that situation. I've had to do that sometimes with other fighters.
Yeah.
But obviously, if I ever even smelled that to be an issue, I've been fortunate that there's enough good people around, like Jay mentioned before, Jose, Marine, as Chuck mentioned, and I have a few other people, even Chris Algieri, who, gives us tips every now and then to the fighters and whatnot, who are very well versed in nutritional needs, to fuel the body. That's what a fighter needs. And right now, Jay's right on point. So we haven't had any issues, and I don't see any coming in the future.
Awesome to hear. What do we know about the opponent? What's the scout?
I guess I'll answer that one, Mike. We're fighting Anthony Everett, who's ironically from Lawrence, which is where Josniel grew up. Not a great record, but he's fought some good guys, and he always competes. So, at this point in Josniel's progression, that's the type of opponent we need. He's going to come to fight. And frankly, you know, on this card, and it's a great card, don't get me wrong, but you got two guys in this fight in particular that they can both fight, you know. So yeah, no, Anthony's going to come to fight.
I've seen to Chuck's point. In my 20 years, I've seen a couple of unfortunate upsets where, you know, in boxing you have to go deeper than looking at the win-loss record. There's a lot of guys. Probably the king of that was Darnell Boone, who if anybody knew that, like, I used to tell people avoid him like the plague.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he had a 500 record and would knock your guy into tomorrow, you know. And so, like, there's a lot of guys like that. Not too long ago, actually, you know, I had the unfortunate experience of going through that. One of the fighters that I briefly had worked with him. It didn't work long with him. But, you know, I don't know if he underestimated the guy or whatnot. He was fighting a guy who was 2-11, and that guy beat him. Much to my dismay and shock, you know, more in part, I think, not because the fighter was great or anything, but because, you know, the fighter that I had didn't listen. And then the other fighter came to fight. A lot of these guys come to fight.
Yeah.
You know, they're not trying to get knocked out. You know, they get suspended for 90 days if they get knocked out, and that stops them from making money, you know. And everybody needs a place in this business. And you have some journeymen out there who are very tough. They'll give you a lot of lessons in the night. You have some guys out there, which I call survivors. You couldn't knock them down if you hit them with 2 sledgehammers, you know. But those are all guys that you learn from, you know, as you work and you get experience from. So I don't underestimate anyone.
It's the right plan. It's definitely the right plan. Too many times. Buster Douglas, we all know about that. So same idea. But so Chuck, any words for your guy before his big fight?
No. You know, Jade needs to just come out and look as good as he is. That's it. But, you know, however we get the win, we get the win. I've been talking him up a lot.
Awesome.
So, you know, so he does need to look good, and he will look good because he is good. You know, the thing with Josniel is he's through his amateur career and whatnot, he's earned he's earned the right to be where he is. He's earned the right for somebody like Derik to be willing to work with him, for somebody like, you know, my company, my family, to work with him. I mean, Jay's earned where he's at. You know, we have a lot of work to do now, but nothing's been handed to him. So he's where he needs to be. He's where he deserves to be.
And he should be proud of that. Amen to that.
He should be proud of it.
100%, man. So, Josniel, tell us what's going down Saturday night, man. Is it?
I'm gonna win it. I'm gonna win regardless, but
That a boy.
I guess we'll see. We'll see if we get, you know what I mean, and we'll see. I don't really talk too much, but
I dig it, man.
if he comes ready, that's all that matters.
Love it.
All I know is I'm ready.
Absolutely love it, man. So, thank you guys for coming on tonight, man. I mean, after this weekend, you guys are more than welcome on any show we do. We'll get some real boxing stuff out there. So, any shout outs? Derik, thank you for coming on. Anyone you want to shout out quick?
No, just thank you to you guys there at Shamrock Sports, and the New England area, please come out and support Josiel Castro. We'll be there trying to, you know, entertain you in the best form possible. Shout out to any of the supporters of the DS Boxing stable, and our entire crew. We really appreciate it, because at the end of the day, you know, this is also a fan-driven industry, and we're out there sweating every day, working every day, and hopes and Josniel is risking his life every time he gets in that ring.
Absolutely.
In hopes to better his career, and, you know, we're all with him. You know, how he goes is how we go, and we really appreciate the support.
Love it, man. Love it. Chuck, anyone you want to shout out?
Shout out to Rivera Promotions for having us on. How about Platt's Landscaping?
All
One of
day
our-
long, man. We opened up with that all day long, man. Ryan's
Right,
been great.
one of the sponsors of the show, and you know, they may be possibly getting involved in Josniel's career a little bit. So again, shout out to Platt's Landscaping.
Love it.
And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for everybody for coming out Saturday. It's gonna be TG time on Saturday.
That's what I'm talking about. I'll be
Yes,
there.
sir.
I'm pumped, man, and we're looking forward to celebrating afterwards. That's for sure. Do
Let's
work, and that's it, guys. Thank you very much. Good luck.
All right,
Appreciate
thank you.
We'll talk to you
Thank
soon.
you.
We'll see you Saturday.
Okay.
Thank
See
you.
you.